Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This week, we're looking at the middle section in Psalm 22, verses 11 through 20. So if you have your Bible, hope you'll grab it. Come on into the Bible Bistro, have a seat, find your place. We're going to be looking at verses 11 and 12 today. Let me just remind you about my-dailydose.com. It's our website where you and I can meet together and find one another on the internet. So you can go there and check out all the links and pages that we have there, and you'll also see all of the different social media sites that we're connected to. Check that out at my-dailydose.com. Let me read for you today verses 11 and 12. Do not be far from me, for distress draws near, for there is no one who can help. Many bulls have surrounded me. The strong ones of Bashan surround me. All right, so we come now to verses 11 and 12. And this week on Daily Dose Radio, we're going to be looking at the biblical fauna. There's going to be lots of Bible fauna here. Bulls and lions and dogs, and all of them at the cross. So these aren't good animals. These are bad ones. We're also going to be looking at the New Testament as we go back again to the Passion of Christ, because what we have in the Passion of Christ is exactly what David prophesies here in Psalm 22. So we know that this is his son Messiah that he speaks of, and we know that he's talking about the Passion and the crucifixion because we have exact parallels in the New Testament. So we'll see that this week as well. Do not be far from me. Now, this picks up where we left off last week. Last week at verse 10. Upon you have been cast from the womb. So he talked about his nativity in Bethlehem last week. And this is Messiah. So drawn from the womb, we know Mary, his mom. We know that Jesus trusted from that point. We know that we're still speaking about the cross because we had the cross in 7, also in 8. We had it in verse 6. Of course, we had it in verse 1 to start us off. The cry of the cross, where Jesus actually imprinted this psalm as his very own because none other could say these words but him, and he says them on the cross. So we're there, we're despairing at the cross in a sense because it's so dark. Do not be far from me is his cry, but of course he is far from him, isn't he? He cried out to him there in verse 1. Why are you so far away? Far from my deliverance are the words of my complaint. I called to you by day, but you do not answer. By night you are silent to me. So he is far, for distress draws near, he says. There is no one who can help. And of course, if the Lord doesn't help him, no one else is going to help him either, and that's what happens because at the cross, Jesus finds darkness of death there, and here we have him crying out, do not be far from me, which of course is what's happened. Distress draws near, he's right there with it. There is no one who can help, and no one will help him because on the cross he goes there alone, he dies. Many bulls have surrounded me. Now here's our fauna to begin our week. The bulls of Bashan, or as Mason Neal has it translated, the oxen. These are the oxen that have surrounded him. These oxen are strong ones of Bashan. Bashan is that area east of the area of Galilee, and it's very fertile, it's green, it's lush. And if you have cattle there, they're going to be well fed. So and Mason Neal actually translates it this way, fat. He says they're fat ones. These are the fat bulls or the fat oxen. They've surrounded me. These are the ones from Bashan. They're well fed. They're strong. Because then you see verse 13, they open their mouths against me. Well, wait a minute. Why are bulls opening their mouths? Well, they're bellowing out. And, of course, they're surrounding him. These are the ones who stood at the cross, the ones who put him to death. They're called bulls, the bulls of Bashan, well fed and yet ungrateful. Come again tomorrow. We'll look at verses 13 and 14 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.